Impressive, isn't it? Much more organised than I actually planned. Well, welcome to the lockup of broken dreams, as they say. Or no, that phrase has been used before. I can't use that. Let's just call it the lockup of dreams. Oh no, I can't use that. Paul Roverman's got that. Oh, I'll come up with a name for it at some point. But this is my garage. This is going to be a nice new home for my treasured car. It has taken me a good few days to get a little bit more organised, but from the last video, the introduction to the garage, I did that about a day or a couple of days ago now, and it may have only gone out about a day or so ago, so things have moved apace. I have actually now fitted everything. We now have a lead acid battery over here, a leisure battery which I'm going to hook up the electricity, and I'm going to shut these garage doors for a bit of privacy and so that I'm not disturbing all the neighbours. But it's pretty organised. I've got the mats down here and everything that needs to be down here is now down here. So without ado, let's turn the lights on. Lights! Ouch! Get my foot against the door. I would say this is pretty good. What I would say is that there is a reason why fluorescent strips are probably superior, and that is they cover all the garage. There's no dark and light spots. Even though I've got 3 lights and they're 12 watts. Now I will say, and I said this in the last video, that power inverter is modified sine wave, not pure sine wave. So my experience of the difference between the two, particularly with sensitive piece of equipment like an LED bulb, which has got a little miniature printed circuit board, is you will find they are not 12 watts. If I plug this into at my house, they'll be far brighter. They'll be probably 20-25% brighter than this. So really, these are probably the equivalent of 9-watt bulbs. So I've got what, 27 watts going on. A fluorescent strip will be much more, or an LED strip really. Fluorescent strips are a bit old school. They take about 20 years to turn on, I find, and even then they don't turn on properly. But I'm quite satisfied. There are some dark spots in the garage, but this is really sufficient lighting. I may add more lighting. I may potentially add a bit of lighting potentially over this side, because the idea is the car is going to come in on this side. I'm going to get out on that side. Obviously the bonnet's going to be on that side, and obviously the trick I mentioned the other day was to have a piece of string somewhere, once I've measured everything up and got the focus in the right position, where it's sort of, so there's a little bit more clearance at the front and quite tight at the back, just tight enough to actually shut that garage door without it banging into the tailgate. And then I can measure where to put that strip of that little, I don't know what I'm going to put at the end of that little string. Maybe a bath bunk if I can find one, or buy one, or something that is just going to hit the windscreen without damaging the windscreen. So I know when to stop. That's a very good top tip. But let me show you around what I've got in here, because well, you're not going to find me, trust me. It's in the middle of nowhere. In fact, I wouldn't even know there was a garage here. It's not even really, it is a block of garages, but it is really honestly not in a place you would ever expect to find it. So I will show you exactly what I've got down here and some of my thought processes of why I've got what I've got down here. Right, okay, now I've got to be honest with you, I'm looking at it on camera and I think it's actually shown it to be a little bit brighter than what it actually is. I think the phone backlight is actually, the camera backlight is actually doing a good job. But I think it does show you've got your dark spots above the bulbs and then on the sides a little bit. And that's how it kind of looks to me. But overall, I'm pretty impressed. As you can see, that there is some moisture going on along the sides. Now this was because we had absolute torrential rain the other day, and it did come in from the sides, but only to this point, and that's as bad as it gets. And believe you me, we had absolute torrential rain, so I was quite pleased to see the actual results of this. But if that's all there is to actually see, oh come on camera, then that is absolutely nothing at all. There was a little bit down this side, but typically every single garage I have had, they always have this damp spot probably this far away from this side of the door, and then from the door to where those axle stands are sitting. But in this case, it's gone a bit further down. Now, there is one thing I have got to be aware of, is that these garages are actually below the water table, which is why there was tons of shrubs around this garage door. So there is a lot of moisture going on. Hopefully, we are going to get some real dry spots, and I can actually clean that properly. I mean, I've been using a spade and hard bristle brush to actually get the worst of the moss, and it's mud. It's really bad. It's mud. There is a lot of moisture going on, but the truth is, apart from that, the actual garage is dry. The roof, as I've said before, has been redone, and it is as dry as a bone in here. The walls are dry. There really is nothing to be said. Anyway, I have managed to drag these car mats. Because this garage is 5 minutes away from my flat, I've actually managed to walk down here with these mats. I did look like a bit of a wally trying to control these in the wind, because we had the torrential rain and the wind. We didn't have the rain when I walked down with these, that would be mad, but we did have wind, and that was quite difficult. But I'm glad they're down here, because I've very rarely used these on the driveway for a while. And the good thing with working actually in a school is that they do chuck away quite a few bits and pieces that they don't need. These are actually gym mats, and they are very, very expensive. And the reason that the school was actually chucking them in the skip is because this is considered a fire hazard when it starts peeling. So they had to chuck it in the skip, and I said, well, what a waste. I took them immediately, took them straight out the skip in the back of my car, and I've had them for 3 years. So yeah, thanks to my workplace, you've got to take advantage of these things. It's going to waste. I have got the old axle stands down here. I think the new ones I bought from Halfords are far taller and wider and are much more useful. So these are definitely surplus to requirements. I may use them in the garage. I may bring the orange ones down. It depends what sort of work I may do on the Focus, if I'm doing any work down here. But they're good as spares, and these cost me nothing, because again, I found these in the basement cellar of the house I live in. I think somebody was into minis. And to be fair, these look as if they were appropriate for a very old car. They are quite ancient, but they've come up really nicely with some rust killer. This is not standard equipment. That's just something I've chucked in here. I don't know why I've brought it down, potentially for a live stream. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But down this side, I've got a couple of bricks. There's lots of bricks at my house. I've taken 4 of the best ones, and I can use them as chocks if I ever need to. A couple of each, well, 1 per wheel, 2 for the back wheels, whatever. These axle stands, I don't like them. I don't like these ratchet ones, because I've always got this feeling that there's an element of, if you just knock this while under the car, it will drop, basically. So I don't like them. I prefer the actual pin in these. I mean, these are just as safe. But as I say, if I just pull this up, if you were to accidentally, if I was under the car and suddenly my foot went near to that leg and bollocks, you know what I mean? That's going to drop on you. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty difficult to do that, but I prefer a pin that goes across. So come across here, as I say, got a lovely sign mounted on the wall. These signs are now mounted on the wall. I am going to stick a few more up on this side. This is a blank wall. I may put an ornament or a clock, something to go there. I mean, I guess you could go for, a clock would actually be a good idea. Maybe a Ford clock, or maybe a Rover clock, because this is a Ford. This is going to be specifically for my Focus, but I would like something from Rover, because it's just, this is a Ford and Rover channel. And as we can hear, oh yes, the lovely fans kicking in, and feels not even relatively hot at all, no. And this is the leisure battery. Get out the light, Andrew. Yep, we've got this Autolite battery, Class A, and it is a 50 amp hour, 12 volt leisure battery. The difference between a leisure battery and a normal car battery is the lead plates are much thicker. Okay, so they can discharge way down, like as much as 80-90% compared to a normal 12 volt battery. I did make the mistake of using a normal car battery with an inverter in my last garage, and guess how long that battery lasted? Yeah, you guessed right, absolutely no time at all. Obviously in here I've got just tons of spares for the Focus. I mean, do you need one of them? I'm actually going to cover this later in this episode because, well, I think in another episode, to be honest with you, but I am going to cover the amount of spares I have, and this is a box full of spares, and I will show you exactly what I've got and maybe what you, ideally, if you've got a Mark 1 Focus that you're preserving or keeping long term, these are some of the parts that I would recommend you grabbing, because they can be parts that can deteriorate. There's some more spares up there. There is something in that box that I cannot tell you what it is, because it will give away what I've been doing with the Rover, but there is a part that has come off the Rover which is now in that box. Spoilers, but a few things have been going on. I've got my wheel dolly up there that I bought from Lidl's. In here I have, well, just spare mops and all that. This is all my leather stuff. When I did all the leather stuff with the Focus, leather prep, and this is the colorant. This is the dye I used to re-dye the Focus leather seats. That is the code that Furniture Clinic have for the correct shade of dye. To be honest with you, I am not going to use this dye. This is a full bottle of dye, and I think I've got some left over from the other bottle. So if you are interested in re-dyeing your Focus leather seats, maybe put it in the comments, because I may be able to help you out with this bottle. But the thing is, this bottle is useless without any of this. You've got to have the whole kit, the leather finish as well, whether you go matte or gloss, and I think one of these, I think there's a binder, that's a degreaser. Base color, there's a binder in there, so it's a binder. Basically it mixes matte and gloss. I think you do 75% matte and 25% gloss to get the correct factory finishes, which is what I did. I've got a bit of leather prep that's quite lethal, just bits and pieces, and I did have, whoops-a-daisy, some seat swabs. I did cut the old seat foam, seat cushion off my old seat covers on the Focus to get a correct colour match. I just sent a patch like that off to Furniture Clinic, and they sorted me out. But there's no foam backing on these, and these are the later. If you've got a Focus Mark 1 with leather seats after 2001, this is what you'll have. No foam backing on them. They cheapened out on the foam. The pre-2001 leather seats are much better. They have like a layer of foam underneath the underside, believe it or not. In here is literally tons of stuff that I've bought in bulk. Same with the GT85, I bought that in bulk, much more cheaper. I'm going to actually buy some more of these, because I'm just going to put one in the car, as I usually do, because some of you have spotted that I have one of these in the Focus. I recommend just chucking one in every so often. These are pretty good, and one of these has lasted the entire winter in the Focus, and it's only just starting to fill up to the top with all the granules have decided to disintegrate and turn to basically water. What else? We've got the biggest blooming crowbar I've never used in my life, apart from burglaries. Only joking. I've got my old mat, which I rarely use. We've got all this going on, and I've got to remind myself to take that back to the house, because that's not staying here. No tools allowed in this garage. And of course I have the original number plate of my Mark 1, as you can see here, Bristol Street Motors in Shirley. I am going to contact someone I know about getting some original replica registration plates made up, because the ones on the Focus are just generic ones, and to be honest with you, they're okay, they look quite nice, but yeah, you want this. So apparently the guy that I've been told to contact can replicate this as close as possible, including the rear registration plate. So that may be in time for the Festival of the Unexceptional, funds pending, because my first priority is the paintwork. That is at least concern, considering that I'm still going to keep the front bumper and the rear bumper for the next 12 months. So I may sort that out when I get them sorted, but you know, each their own. I've just got some resources here, gloves, and you got to have some Swarthig. I've got some supply. Basically, I can use the Swarthig if get my hands dirty, even though I'll be wearing some gloves. use the Swarthega, and then that bucket of water is there because I actually need to fill this up because actually if I turn this tap on, yeah, no water comes out because the water is actually below the blooming tap. But the idea is that I could wash my hands with a bit of Swarthega, a bit of water, and the water goes straight in that bucket. That's a good idea. I have got some blocks of wood down there and some cloths and some oils down there, just spare stuff related to the Focus. Everything Rover based is at the house because I figured that if I have Ford related stuff here, that's the idea. The spare parts, the oils, everything related to the Focus is actually here. Up here at the back, I have a very nice piece of, if I can just get it out, come on. Now this is, if I look at the parts number, it is a rubbing strip. It is a moulding. It is a new old stock moulding off the passenger door off a 3-door Focus. The 3-door mouldings are much longer and they frequently bend. This one is definitely going to be going on the car. If I could just chuck it back up there without success, there we go, lovely. That is going to be going on the Focus once it's had the passenger side redone because the door moulding has bent and is being damaged and scratched that I can't really replace, and they are like rocking horse teeth, I can tell you. The 3-door mouldings, whether it's for the driver's door, the passenger door, and then the 2 small ones for the quarter panel, they're very hard to get hold of. The small ones are much more easy to get hold of, but still much less common, and there are no aftermarket manufacturers that make them. If you've got a 5-door, no problems. All the aftermarket manufacturers make them brand new. The same manufacturers that make the door mouldings for the bumper, the mouldings for the bumpers round the corners. I have loads of odds and sods there, really nothing much of a residual value. I have got like double the amount at the house. I've got some jugs and filler ports and all sorts of stuff, oil drain pan. There's no tools in this, I can absolutely assure you. It might be an advertisement for something very expensive. It isn't. There's nothing in it. This is just a plain box that I've got nothing to put it in, to be honest with you, because my Milwaukee's in a nice safe place. I've got some Scott Garage towels. These are very, very, very good indeed. I've got my Vice, but I very rarely use it. I need to drill that in, but I don't know where to drill it in, to be honest with you. I think ideally I'd like a workbench, but unfortunately in this garage I've only got enough space for the car now. And here I have one example of every single common... No, hold on, why is there 2 of these here? I don't want 2 of these here. Mistake on that one. One of each of every single type of lubricant that I actually use. So in fact, if I'm working on the car, there is no need to bring my big box with all these resources. I've got all these resources at the house in my DeWalt storage container box, which is like a go-to thing. So I'm working on the car, take the box out and everything's in it. But the idea is that I've got it all here as well, so there's no need to grab all this stuff and bring it down every time I come down to work on the car. I just need to bring the tools. That is literally all I need to bring down here to work on the car. The tools and maybe the part that is needed for that particular job. I have got some Araldite which has gone off, I think. Impact, yeah. This is nasty. I might have to chuck that. Got some paints on the side, sandpaper, and there is a ratchet strap in here, but I rarely use it. In here is a load of blooming resources, you know, just spare stuff. Oh, God, I always kept this. I mean, that was the best advertisement for P38, a blooming Maestro. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can understand why they use the Maestro, because they're just woeful for rust. It's a shame because I really want one, but I think the rust puts me off. Yeah, wire brushes, and these are just spare cutting discs. I think these are brilliant, and I bought this on Lidl's for about £4. That's cheap. This is good for the grinder, grinding discs, that sort of flippy wheels, that sort of thing. Oh, these are just handles, and I did order, and I will say these are cheap drill bits, but I ordered a pack of 100 assorted drill bits for about £7. if you wanted a box with a fancy plastic box that came with it, £10. No, I've got enough storage. So really, that is it. I need to find a place for this. Potentially, this actually goes in here. That's it. Lovely. Job done. And I have access to putting a radio there or plug in another light in. I do have some excess 2-core lighting cable. But I'm really satisfied that there is enough light in this garage. I'm really pleased with the amount of light in here. So onwards and upwards, really. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try something. I'm going to put the phone down and see how much of the Rover I can actually get into this garage. Right, it could get pretty noisy, especially with the damper being a bit rattly on the 45. But right, I've moved everything away, so just give me a few minutes. I'll speed this up. Goodness me. Well, I've got a bit of a surprise. Hold on. Flaming heck, it fits. Oh my God. I must have got the measurements wrong. Good job that I don't have the saloon version. Because if I did, it would have just pushed it to the limits. I've literally got space around the back side of this thing. Oh my God. Yeah, I do apologise it took so long to get into this actual garage. I was a bit conscious about the width of the car and me knocking that mirror off. What my granddad used to do was put carpet, line the garage with carpet. So if you did rub the body against the side of the garage, it's only rubbing against the carpet, no damage to the paintwork, providing the carpet is actually clean. But oh my God, this might change things a bit. If I can fit this in, then Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. I'll just show you how close to the front we are. I'm going to give you some perspective now. Right, okay, now I've taken about half a minute to get some focus. I think my camera is going to suffer a little bit with these lights, which is why I may put an additional light on. But good grief. My goodness me, the box with the focus spare bits always sticks out. I was measuring the width of these racks ages ago, and I was a bit concerned about the space, but you know what, there's just the tiniest amount of room here. I mean, I've got my tripod in the middle here, but yeah, that's as tight as to the front as possible. I did actually knock that cardboard box. Well, that's actually quite a good thing, because you're not going to damage the front bumper by knocking into a cardboard box, which is possibly a very good solution to just finding out where I am. But I'll bring it back here. I mean, there's more than enough space. I mean, that's not even locked. Potentially the garage is going to come back. There we go. That's locked now. That's shut. That's fully shut. What I'm going to do is reverse the car back just an absolute tad here. I mean, I'll come to this side. I obviously had to mind how I got in, but there's still an awful lot of room on this side as well. This is a smaller car than I actually thought, because I literally had it in my head that this is bigger than a P6 that I put in a garage many years ago. But there's still space on this side, way too much space. I need to take my time next time and actually go in a little bit more at an angle, because obviously because of this door, you end up sort of going at like, go out first, because you don't want to scratch it on the side of the door. That would be lethal to a car. But you sort of go in at an angle then, so your car's always parked like that. And then this side is just like, there's loads of room. I mean, I'm a thin guy, so I don't have any problem getting out. again, I might put something on the wall, some carpet. I may actually have a look to see if my landlord's got any old carpet, because he's always doing up houses. But what I'm going to do now is just back it off a little bit. So yeah, let me just let me get the keys out. Get rid of this. Come on. Right. Do it on camera. My insurance company might put me insurance up if they see me doing this, but right. Oh, drop the blooming keys. That's really useful. First time. Yes, I know. Right. Listen to this damper. It's quite an engagement. Oh, I'm being excuse me, the fumes. Let me just back it off a bit. Oh God, sorry, excuse me. I shouldn't have done that with the garage door shut. Fumigated. Ugh. God. Right. Okay, I'm happy enough. I mean, the sensors were going absolute AWOL because it was basically probably batting against this bar. But even still, there's like that's enough for me. That's a good comfort zone to have. I mean, I can open the boot if I have to from this side. But if we come to the front of the car now, we have. I mean, honestly, we've got adequate standing space now. Come on. Oh yes, that's excellent. That really is excellent. No, that is really good. Obviously, this video, it's a bit of a contrast in terms of continuity at the moment. But put it this way, we may have sorted the front brake caliper out. Sorry, we may not have. But that's spoilers for another episode. But yeah, oh, blimey, excuse me. I just need to crack this garage. Tight. Right, let me just get some air in. This is where all the shrubbery was. It was really bad, and this was blocked up, and this was just shrubs. I'll just show you some of the other garages. Just I'm being very conscious about security because other people live here. But look at what's going on down there by that garage. It's just dreadful. It is under the water table. It has not rained in about 6 hours, and look at the moisture. This is why we had so many shrubs. But luckily, yeah, it seems to have all gone the way. It looks really good at the moment. Oh, dear me, excuse me. Yeah, so what we've discovered is this garage is very suitable for a car, and I could certainly see myself doing some jobs on the 45 undercover if I needed to. This is not why I bought this car, but it is actually nice to know that maybe if I took the Focus to a show, I can do a straight swap and put the Rover in this garage nice and safe when I come back, and then do a swap back over. So it's food for thought, because I am going to be using the Focus as much as anything else. I mean, look at this wet sanding has come up an absolute treat. I don't know if you can see this here. That is superb, and we're getting there. We haven't fully wet sanded the car. We've had some sort of pollution going on. I'll just show you the back window, because this is pretty bad. I mean, look at this. This is pollution. This is I don't know what this is. It's appeared over the last day. Ugh. Oh, excuse me. I just shut that door. Come on. I'm trying to actually pull this door down. Shut it. Right, I think that is it for today. This is my new lockup, the lockup of usually fixing and tinkering. Get the camera right. There we go. No down. I'm trying to sort all my angles out here. I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm hoping to do a live stream. I'm hoping so anyway. I'm noticeably the forward facing camera on my phone is really struggling with these LED lights. Interesting, but it's for me to faff around with. But I tell you something, there is actually space in this corner where this bucket for the water, I can actually put a tripod there. The theory is that I can actually do a live stream from this garage. Now the issue will be, obviously my laptop isn't Bluetooth, so I can't actually connect it to my phone, because my phone is the thing that does the live stream on camera. But essentially, if you, and this is a top tip if you are doing live streaming away from sources of electricity and a Wi-Fi, you can use the Wi-Fi off your mobile, tethering essentially. You can either use it as a hotspot, which is using Wi-Fi beamed from your phone. Obviously the laptop cannot receive such signals, but it can be tethered using a USB cable. So basically you run a USB cable from your phone to the laptop. So essentially I can basically do a live stream in here, which I am probably going to do in the next day or so. Just have an opportunist idea. I could just bring the Rover in, do a bit of cleaning, etc. under the bonnet, and we'll do a few questions here and there, and just put your comments and whatever. I don't know what it will be. I don't know what it will be, but it will be a garage live stream, and I might do it very, very shortly. I will put an update, so look out for channel updates for those of you who are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because you won't see these updates. I do have a Facebook page, but most of my stuff goes on the channel. Instagram is for nice photos. Twitter is for my lefty opinions, which you are not going to enjoy. But the Facebook page, occasionally I put some posts up. Not many people have liked that page as of yet, so as soon as I get more people, I will put more posts up. It's a motivating thing. I'm not going to do things that are not going to be seen by many people, but if I know it's going to be seen and liked and enjoyed, that encourages me to do more. And hence why this channel has gone from one little blog to getting a garage in 12 months. Ideally I would have got a garage anyway, but this is a really nice garage, and I can't believe the 45 fits in here. It just changes things just a little bit. And if the 45 fits in here, I'm going to have tons of space for the Focus at the front. If I back the Focus in and have it as close to the garage door as the 45, I should have far more legroom at the front. So anyway, you take care guys. See you very soon. Maybe in a live stream, definitely in another video. Good day all. Good night.